you really feel that you personally need, as a woman, greater freedom? You're probably...
I'm a bit angry at you, David, because first of all, today we made an agreement that because John doesn't want to talk and I want to talk and I have a lot of things, important things that I have to talk to you, that John will perform and I will talk, and you tricked us into that. You know that.
No.
And also that the things that we were doing, like the John Sinclair show, to help John Sinclair to free him and all that in Ann Arbor, Michigan, was between John and I, both of us helped on it. And then what you were saying was you were mainly putting the discussion, I think the women would have understood it in the audience, but pointing out to John. Now, this happens all the time, and I have to struggle, and that's why whenever I want to say something on a show, and it's a very important subject, I have a lot of difficulty, because first of all they say, well, do you think John is coming out too? Would you mind bringing your husband? I say, no, I have something to say on my own, you know. And then they say...
Well, there's two things to be said in answer to that.
Yes.
The first thing is that there was no sense of trickery involved there at all. We had an audience who listened to your song, the song that both of you wrote, not just you, you both wrote.
Yes.
About Attica State.
Yes.
Now, a lot of people agreed with the song passionately. A lot of other people, including the two people who spoke up, disagreed with it passionately. You, as an advocate of democracy, would agree they had a right to speak, and they had a right to speak to whoever wrote the song, which was the both of you. So there's no trickery involved. That's the right to speak. You both had the right to reply, and the result was we had a very good debate in which your point of view was put across, John's as the co-author was put across, the audience's was, the point of view against the song was. So it's no question of trickery, it's a question of fairness and free speech. And
well,
I object to you using the word trickery, and I don't want you to use it. The second point, now coming on to the second point, about the fact of when people say to you, is John going to be around?
Yes,
that is not any prejudice against you because you are a woman. Let us think of another situation. Let us think, for instance, of the distinguished theatrical producer, Lars Schmidt.
Yes.
Now, he's a very distinguished impresario throughout Europe. But whenever he goes anywhere, people naturally say, is your wife coming? Because his wife is Ingrid Bergman. Now, that is not prejudice against him because he's a man. It's because he has a very famous wife. You have a famous husband.
I understand. I'm fully aware of that. No, David.
That's not because you're a woman.
I know. But you see, what I'm fighting is, despite all that understanding, in other words, I even question the idea of why would people listen to people because they're famous. You see, first of all, when I was...
No, that's a valid point, but all I'm saying is you mustn't think it's because you're a woman.
But that has a lot to do with it. First of all, I'm not just questioning about the fact that we went there and we had a debate, because I did enjoy the debate myself, so
Good.
I can't deny that it was a beautiful thing. But at the same time, I had difficulty in coming back here because I have something to talk here. But you were suggesting that we go on with a song. So that's the thing that I'm mostly upset about.
No, I suggested that you sing Oh Sisters, which you then sang.
Yes, but after that, you know.
Then I suggested...
We don't have to go into that,
look,
but the point
really,
is that...
this is all your time. You just had 10 minutes earlier on. This is all your time.
Yes.
Why don't you talk about...
I just wanted
you can
to
talk
tell
about whatever you like
sisters
about.
that actually, that's the kind of thing that we go through it. Now, the point is, you're right about that. Ingrid Bergman and, you know, the husband of Ingrid Bergman would have the same trouble, you know? So there's that fame involved too. But at the same time, it's not just that, it's a combination of that. And also, in the case of fame, I really think that because, first of all, when I was in New York and I was saying the same thing, my words were the same. And now because I'm Yoko Ono Lennon, some people listen to me. I mean, this is not just because of John or anything, but because something happened, my name is like a household name. That is because of Beatles, probably. And they think that maybe my word has some meaning, while they didn't think that my word had any meaning when I was in New York before. And this is the thing that I really, really, you know, feel that it's very sad, because that means that people don't really respect, or people don't really trust people unless they're famous. And people who are doing that are not famous people. That means that they don't trust themselves. They trust somebody that is not like them. They trust somebody that's up there. And it's very wrong, because the very reason why you become famous doesn't necessarily mean that you're a better person. You see, because this society is made in such a way so that you have a lot of, maybe you have more aggression, or maybe you know some game better, or whatever. I don't know what the reason is, but there are many, many complicated situations that make somebody famous. And people build up this image. And like John or me, I don't have anything to do with the image that we carry. We are people, you know, and we have a lot of faults too, but at the same time we're trying very hard. We're not any better than any of you, or we're not any worse, you see. And the thing is, somehow, because our name is big, and this often happens to us, that somehow people listen to us. And even when they listen to us, it frightens me, you know, because I think, oh, all right, I was saying the same thing 10 years ago. That time, it wasn't good enough for them, because I was just an unknown Japanese artist, woman. What is it, you know? And mainly after I got married to John, the problem I got mainly was because of having a famous husband, as you pointed out. And I was believing that, oh, that's the problem, that's the only problem. But lately I found that it wasn't that at all. I mean, there was that element as well. But there's another element, which is a very funny thing, because, for instance, I went the other day to edit a film, you know, and editing a film, Joan and I take 50-50. In other words, we both edit together, you know.
What film was this? Is this a film
this is a new film. Yeah. Now, the thing is, it's called Imagine, and, you know, it's going to be out very soon. But anyway, and so the thing is, we were working all night long, and all that time, if I say something, the engineer doesn't say anything. If John says something, they say, yes, John. And in the end of it, in the morning, and this engineer is a perfectly beautiful guy, you know, he's a very good engineer and everything. He came up to us and said, nice working with you, Mr. Lennon. Nice meeting you, Mrs. Lennon, you know. And I thought, all right, so another thing happened because I have a famous husband. You know, it was that I thought. And then I looked around, and then some woman told me that she has the same problem. This Howard Smith just told me that he's making a film with a woman, co-producing together, everything 50-50. And when the woman tells the engineer what to do, the engineer looks straight at Howard Smith and says, what did you say? And then the woman, you know, explains again, and he says, oh, I see, you want me to do this. He looks Howard Smith again. And then the woman explains, no, it's this and that technical thing. And then he just looks straight at Howard Smith again and says, oh, yes, of course I'll do that for you, you know? And it's a frightening thing. So it's not that I'm Mrs. Lennon. You see, I mean, everybody says, oh, it's just Mrs. Lennon, that's why it's happening. But I don't believe that now. So I make a point, whenever something happens, I want to bring it out, and whether I'm going to be defeated or not, I don't care, you see. I just want to bring it out and stir the attention of people and make them debate about it, you know. If I'm wrong, it's fine too, but I just want to see what happens, because there's 50-50 element in that. The fact that I'm a wife of a famous husband, more famous than me, and the fact that I'm a woman. You see, there's both sides to that.
There's both sides to it, but I don't think it's just because you're a woman in a situation like that. As you say, but on the other hand, you think differently, which is fine.
Okay, that's fine.
We're going to take a break now, and I'm not saying that because you're a woman. We'll be right back. Back with our show with Yoko and with John, and incidentally, a lot of people were asking this in the audience, all the while during the songs and so on, what was the significance of those? Did they have a significance, or were they just nice and peaceful? Well, because it's a simple idea, but I always believe in communication, you know, and just not communicating like this, but really touching, you know, and it's nice to give something tangible to people rather than just air, you know, or just like that. And
I believe in, first of all, say if you receive that, what you can do is you can add something to it or do something with it, you know. Whereas if I'm just saying something, they can't do anything about it. And in art, what I really believe is this, that there's a lot of fakery going around in the world. And in this world, there's only two classes left. One is a class that can communicate, and the other is a class that can't communicate. And the people who can't communicate are people who have either the access to communication media or people who have confidence. The people who can't communicate are either people who believe that they don't have the need of communication, which is hypocrisy, because everybody needs communication desperately, because communication means love, reaching, appreciation, and everybody needs that. Or they think that they don't know how to. They think, well, they're the special people who know how to communicate, and I don't have the access, I don't know, I'm not special. But that's not true at all. You see, we're all the same, you know? I mean, frighteningly so. We're all the same. And everybody has a possibility. It's just that you're tricked into thinking that you're no good someday, you know? And that's why you don't know that you can do it. And the book that I wrote, which is Grapefruit, and people think that I'm plugging all the time, but I really believe in it, so I have to plug it.
Yeah. So you are plugging it.
Yes,
right.
because this is a book. Please read it, because you'll see after you read it, you'll see that it's nothing to be an artist. You can be an artist too. And it's great to be an artist, because to be an artist means that you can communicate. And that's very important.
And talking of... And Yoko, in talking of communication, one of the other subjects, we've talked about Attica, we've talked about women's liberation. One of the other subjects that you're very, very passionate about is the whole Indian question, isn't that
yes,
right?
Definitely, yes. Could we bring the gentleman out?
Will you
Yes.
will you introduce him, please?
Chief Lion.
The Chief?
Chief Lion.
And here he is. Hi there. Hi. Good to see you. Come and sit down. Welcome. How did the two of you come to meet? How did Yoko come?
Well, because I had a museum show in Syracuse, and I went up there, and the show was all right, etc. But one of the most impressive things that happened in my life then was the fact that I've met Chief Lion and his tribe, what you call, you know.
The Onondagas.
Yes, and it was very exciting to meet them because they were just genuine people, beautiful people, and then they were in trouble, you see, and we tried to help at that time. It was very difficult to help. I'd like you to, you know, tell the problem.
Well, it was fortunate at that time that John Yoko came to help us out, because we didn't need a lot of publicity or anything, to let the people around know what was happening. And we had been involved in a dispute with the state of New York Transportation Department, to be exact, for about 5 months. And they were attempting to put a road, in addition to a road that they had through our land already, another lane in. And we stopped them. And we were holding them, and we were having a tough time holding them. One of the things that occurred, your song about Attica is timely, because at that particular time, that particular day, we were informed that they had 40 state troopers assigned to us that day. So who knows what could have occurred that day.
And what happened, in fact?
And they went to Attica.
And how many of you are there? How many of you are
Well, it fluctuates, because our people come and go. A lot of them work here in New York City and all around, iron workers, steel constructors, and so forth. But anywhere from 1,700 to 2,500 on our particular reservation, the Onondaga Nation.
And you feel, in what way do you feel you're being violated, in fact?
Well, we were there quietly, being Indian and doing our things, and the state came with a very aggressive move in the spring and began working without even consulting us. They just brought their machinery and they started digging along the road.
Whose land did they dig on?
Our land.
You haven't got rid of the land or anything?
No, no. They have a lease. We gave them a lease. We didn't sell them the land. And we gave them a contract.
Only for the
4 lanes of
4
highway.
lanes, and they're starting the 5th lane.
And they started 5th lane.
Well, we asked, obviously, because the New York State Department of Transportation, if someone would come along and join us, too, on this issue.
Why
Yeah, that
did
would
they
have
join
been
us if they thought that they were right about
Well,
it?
I'll tell you why they said they didn't join us. The director, General T.W. Parker, and the regional director, Mr. Tolson, and the man directly in charge, Mr. Hennessy, said they couldn't come because the thing is before the courts at the moment. Is it before the courts at the moment?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, something happened today. I mean, nothing happened, actually. The judge just reserved judgment again because he's confused, naturally, because they're in areas which they just don't have a right to be in.
Well, they all said the same thing. Let me read you what they said. Can I, Chief? And
I'll be glad to hear what
and
they
will
said.
you and will you tell us whether you agree or disagree?
All right.
They said this.
Don't you think it's better to show that film? Are we going to show that film?
We can show the film.
The fact,
I'm going to I'm going to read this first.
Oh,
and
all
then
right.
we'll show
So
the film.
people know what we're talking about.
In 1956, the government bought the right-of-way to build a frontage road through the reservation and paid the chiefs for the land. In 1970, they wanted to extend a small road linking the frontage road to the interstate highway. This land, they say, was already bought, but the Indians insisted this violated the original deal. The government then offered to pay additional monies, they say, but the Indians refused. The construction workers were instructed to go ahead, but when the irate Indians faced them down and indicated they might force a confrontation, to avert violence, the government instructed the workers to abandon the site, and the case was given to the courts. A decision is pending. That's what they say. Is that true?
Essentially, the facts are, the way it happened. But as far as they buying the right-of-way or buying the land, they did not. You see, when agreements were made, and I think I should bring this out, that these agreements, one was made in 1952, another in 1956, and another in 1961, all concerning more or less Route 81, it's interstate highway. And the route is there, being used. And the thing is, when they came to our chiefs with this a long while ago, now 20 years, they came with this proposition. They showed them a map, particularly in 1956. Now, you have to understand that this agreement was drawn up by the state, and we had no legal counsel. This was drawn up completely by them. So when they brought this to us, for our chiefs, they said, well, this is the way it is, and this is the understanding we had. So they showed a map to even make it more clear, with the 4 lanes very clearly drawn on there. So we said, fine. All right, so they had their road. Now, they're going to add another lane, another road to it. Nowhere on that map was there any indication of this. Now, what's to stop them 10 years from now, 30 years from now, or 50 years from now from adding another or 2 or 3 more?
How long is the lease they've got, then?
I don't know. They say it's forever, but I think it says in there that if for some reason the road doesn't miss your turns or they abandon it, it reverts back to us. Because it's our land. We didn't sell it.
But so the question really is one of whether, if someone has a very, very long lease on land, are they entitled to do with it whatever they wish?
Yeah.
That's the question. Let's take a look at the film, Yoko. It's silent, the film, so will you tell us what we're seeing? Here it is. What's that, Yoko?
Oh, you see, that's the site. You see where that's the parkway, isn't it? And the 4 lane, and that's the place where they're trying to make another road, you see, where they're all standing. Those are the people in that, see, in Indian. And you see that's us just pointing, he's pointing, you better explain.
Well,
He's
this is
pointing out
just explaining how
the
far down it is and
extent
how
of the
far up
strip.
it is.
You see, from there.
And you can see that the road is in operation. We never interfered with the highway, just on this side, where you can see the size of the road there that they're attempting to put on. And they called it an improvement. They were interpreting their agreement, and we said, well,
What's
It
happening
looks like a
there?
road. Well, they're going down now into our territory. You can see a fence they put up there, too. Now, this also hurts us. There's 500 acres of land that we can't get across to anymore. We have to go way down and under a bridge, and so more or less it's lost to us. But it's a bad bargain, whatever it is, but we've kept to our part of it, and we haven't complained. And we were just, by a very aggressive move on their part, forced into this. And we will. We're taking a firm stand, and we're not going to let them put that road in, and that's all there is to it.
Well, thank you for explaining both sides of the situation. We've got to take a break there. Once more, we passed the verdict. Well, it's not the final verdict, but your verdict. Back to you, of course. We'll take a break. We'll come right back. Welcome back with John and Yoko and John. This song is written by the John Sinclair song. Who wrote this song?
John Sinclair, I wrote this one. I just thought I'd mention, there's a few heads of states I consider criminal, dropping napalm on people, and if we're going to lock up prisoners, let's lock up the heads of state too. And Lieutenant Calley might be not, why is he too? John Sinclair was put away for 10 years for possessing 2 marijuana joints. He spent 2 years of it in prison, virtually in isolation, in solitary, in case he infiltrated the other prisoners or something. He didn't want any help for 2 years because he thought, why bother? Justice will let me out. My appeals will let me out, gradually and gradually. After 2 years, he began to worry, and he asked for some help. We went down, had a rally with 15,000 people. We weren't the only people there. Little Stevie Wonder and Phil Oakes and Allen Ginsberg.
Big
a really
Stevie
big
Wonder
rally,
now.
big Stevie Wonder, yeah. And it was a beautiful show. Many people denoted their time to it. And we came along, sang the songs we sang to you, and this one, John Sinclair, is the final one. By a stroke of good luck, he was released on Monday.
But I mean, how many, how many people who have had this long a sentence, in fact?
Well, I think, you know the American laws, they vary in every
From
state.
state to
I think
state.
this was Michigan, and they have changed the laws, and they're gradually changing them. And it's just a process, you know, and laws are a slow thing to change, and people understand that, but we have to start changing them now, because there's too many people just wasting time and energy in jail, wasting the state's money, state's time. They could be getting on with their life, you know.
And just to clarify, this man, John Sinclair,
He's out on bail, I think, now.
Yeah, but he had 2 cigarettes himself.
Yeah.
No one suggested he was a pusher or anything like that.
No, nothing
Right.
like that. Nothing like that.
Right. Okay, this
Yes,
song.
we can do
John?
it. We can do
It means that apathy. Okay, flower power didn't work, so we start again. Apathy doesn't count. Even singing is better than doing nothing.
Right.
Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. It ain't fair, John Sinclair, in the step of breathing air. Won't you care for John Sinclair, in the step of breathing air? Let him be, set him free, let him be like you and me. Alright, they gave him 10 for 2. What else can Judge Columba do? We got to set him free. If he'd been a soldier man, shooting goops in Vietnam, if he was the CIA, selling dope and making hay, he'd be free, they'd let him be, breathing air like you and me. Right on. They gave him 10 for 2. What else can the judges do? We got to set him free. London too, who's that? Got to set him free. Was he jailed for what he done, or representing everyone? Free John now, if you can, from the clutches of the man. Let him be lid for lid, bring him to his wife and kids. He did. They gave him 10 for 2. got to set him free, free, everybody.
After you got married, you and John,
Yes.
you started crusading for peace, didn't you? Because it was just after you
Well,
got...
because we were doing it before
You did
that.
the bed-in, right?
Separately. Like John was singing "All You Need Is Love," which is really a nice peace song, and also I was standing in Trafalgar Square, Washington Square, all sorts of places, all over the world in black bags, saying that we're all alike. You know.
Yes, the bag. What that was the meaning of when you got in those bags was to
That
say
the
we're all
visual
alike.
connotations, you know, are not relevant in communication. In other words, for instance, when I see you, I immediately click, oh, ties, you know, suit, and all that, you know. But I mean, and it doesn't stop there, you know. And sometimes you start to intentionally dress to create a certain image. You know, we're all hung up on image, you know. And there are too many identities that we're carrying around, you know, because like you're a priest's son and English and whatever, you know. And you go into all sorts of identities and you try to be responsible towards those identities. And you're stuck, you know, you're not free. So in order to free ourselves from this visual connotation, I thought if all of us wore bags and just communicate, it would be just total communication. And I really believe that total communication equals peace, because the only reason why there's no peace, and you know, we really have to have peace in a sense of true peace, you know, not just sort of a superficial peace, because that's not going to ever last, you know. And in order to have
what's true peace?
peace of mind. And the reason why we don't have peace of mind because we have violent feelings. And the reason for violent feelings is because we can't communicate. You know, like when you're 4 years old or something, and you're trying to say, Mommy, Mommy, listen to me. And if she doesn't listen, you go, Mommy, you know. That's the first violence. And we're just sort of, you know, we have lots of violence in us. You know, it's accumulated in us, you know, because we've been told to shut up, shut up, shut up all the time. And we have to do something about that. That's why, you see, when I spoke to you, you know, made a point about this, I knew that you would attack me, but I still have to make a point because all this time people have been telling me, no, that's because you have a famous husband, you know, and you did appreciate it. But the point is, that's not the only reason, and I just have to mention that. And also to show that I can be, you know, like sort of people believe in not being uptight. Now, if people can just allow each other the emotions, you know, like I have to show my emotion, and I'm human, and I have these emotions, and the fact that I was hurt there, all those things I have to show, instead of being proud and, you know, like create an image like Yoko doesn't get hurt by anything, and she's a quiet, peaceful girl, you know. So I do that, and that's going to make some women feel, oh, it's not just me. Because I have gone through that too, you see. And that's why I made this newspaper. This is a paper
do you know you have an ability to
my sister
leap
with
from
love.
subject to subject that's fantastic. Did you see that? You were into the subject of the newspaper. I don't know how you got
because
into
it's
the
all
subject.
connected.
Is it?
Yes, because,
There's a bottom. That's how it's all connected.
well, this is to just connect people with that, you
Yes.
see.
This is the signature tune over here.
Right, right. And these are all the things that I believe, you know, and about women. This is that Oh Sister, Sister song. And if they write to Apple, they can get this newspaper. But this is about being, women is the nigger of the world. I mean, we must fight for our rights, but are we fair to the world? So there's a lot of things that women have to learn.
When you said that thing about how you were trying to say with the bags that we're all alike, you know what I
Yes.
mean, away from image and all of that,
Yes.
was that why that thing that caused...
Me encuentro en el restaurante La Fuente de Isla Verde con el buen amigo Pete Vidal, quien tiene muchos recuerdos sobre Carlos Gardel. Pete, ¿qué me podría decir de su carrera musical a través de los años y de sus encuentros con Carlos Gardel?
Bueno, Carlos, un hombre muy simple, muy modesto, un gran talento, un gran artista, un gran bailarín y un gran compositor. Le escribió melodías formidables, ¿no?, que jamás podrán morir.
Cuénteme, Pete, ¿cómo conoció usted a Carlos Gardel la primera vez?
Yo conocí a Carlos Gardel, creo, si no me equivoco, si la memoria me sirve correctamente, lo conocí en el 33 o 34 en Nueva York. Yo estaba tocando en un lugar que se llama El Morocco, que ya por cierto no existe, y él entró una noche con una chica muy bonita y estábamos nosotros tocando un tango, y yo en ese tiempo tocaba violín, ahora estoy tocando piano. Y entonces se acercó a donde estaban los violines, teníamos 3 violines, y se rió conmigo y me dijo una frase muy jocosa, muy chistosa. Me dice: lloraslo vos, lloraslo vos. Yo no sabía lo que era eso, ¿no? Y entonces después por la noche cuando terminamos, él, que antes de marcharse me dio una tarjeta a mí y me dijo que fuera a hablar con el señor Teritucci, el director de música y arreglista de Carlos Gardel. Entonces yo fui un lunes por la mañana y hablé con Gardel, llevé el violín mío y el violín y le toqué los aires Bohemio de Sarasate. Y me dijo: Tucci, empieza con Carlos, empezamos el lunes, si Dios quiere. ¿Sí? ¿Qué más le gustaría saber?
Bueno, usted me había contado una vez una anécdota muy curiosa de Carlos, cuando la orquesta de ustedes estaba tocando un tango. La muchacha con que estaba Gardel no sabía bailarlo.
Sí, una muchacha muy bonita, puertorriqueña, lindísima, que le decían la China. Sí. Y el Carlos entró, tenía unos tragos, ¿no? Entró en el Morocco, ¿no? Y el Morocco, un salón muy bonito, el mejor comedor de Nueva York. Y ella le decía a Carlos: vamos a bailar, vamos a bailar. Y entonces él me miró a los músicos y le dijo a los músicos: mírate vos, que esta quiere bailar conmigo, no sabe bailar tango. Una cosa así más o menos fue lo que dijo él, ¿no?
Bueno, Pete, entonces cuénteme del encuentro suyo con Teritucci.
Bueno, yo le dije que yo toqué el violín para Teritucci y a él le gustó los pequeños esfuerzos míos y empecé a tocar, le hice todas las películas con Carlos. Y Teritucci, como le dije, era un gran músico argentino y él fue el que le hizo todos los arreglos a Carlos y dirigió la orquesta, y hicimos las películas en Astoria, Long Island, en el 34. Del 33 a 34 hicimos muchas películas ahí.
¿Usted acompañó a Carlos en todas las películas que éste hiciera en Nueva York?
Que yo sepa, sí, en todas, que yo sepa. A lo mejor yo viajé un tiempo, estuve de viaje, pero no pude hacerlo porque Carlos, me dijeron que hizo unos recordings con un grupo escogido, ¿no? Yo estaba por fuera. Pero hice todas las películas y grabé las canciones, los tangos de Carlos. En las películas los grabamos en Astoria, Long Island.
¿Usted era el primer violín de la orquesta?
Yo toqué el primer violín en varios números. Él tenía 15 violines. Depende de varias películas. Él usó una vez una cuerda pequeña. Yo toqué el primer violín en Buenos Aires, querido. Toqué el primer violín. Teníamos 3 violines. Después en otras películas, el violín de cabecera, un muchacho, un gran talento argentino, no sé si vive aún, Remo Bolognini, un
Sí,
gran...
sí, yo lo entrevisté a él
¿A usted lo hace?
en Nueva York, sí, él vive todavía.
Sí. Ya debe estar viejito, ¿verdad? Pues ya yo estoy viejito, creo.
Dígame,
que
¿qué edad usted tenía cuando conoció a Carlos la
yo
primera
creo
vez?
que tenía 24 o 25 años cuando conocí a Carlos Gardel.
Y la primera frase de Gardel, digo, hacerlo llorar al violín, pibe, hacerlo
Llorarlo, che pibe, como yo soy tan bajito, me decía, che pibe, llorarlo, oh, llorarlo.
Dígame una cosa, Pete, ¿cuántos músicos tocaban en la orquesta de Carlos
Bueno,
Gardel?
como le dije, depende, el día que me quiera, la famosa canción esa que escribió Carlos, que yo creo que yo le dije cómo la escribió, cómo escribió el día que me quiera.
No, me interesaría saberlo.
Ah, sí. Bueno, primero le voy a contestar la pregunta. Él llegó a tener 15 violines para el día que me quiera. Yo creo que esa fue la última película que yo hice con él o posiblemente la última película que hizo él. Y él tenía una cuerda de 15 violines. Yo me sentaba al mismo lado, al lado de Remo Bolognini. Yo era el asistente, lo que le llaman en América Assistant Concert Master. Y sobre la composición de Carlos, el tango, el día que me quiera, una mañana, como un cuarto para las 9, los dijo Terry Tucci que como a las 4 de la mañana Carlos lo había llamado y él estaba rendido, estaba durmiendo, ¿no? Y le dijo, venite vos enseguida, que acabo de escribir un tangón. Y entonces le trató de explicarle que era un poco tarde, ¿no? Que tenían que estar en Shore Long Island, ahí, para hacer las películas, ¿no? Al día siguiente. Pero él estaba muy excitado, ¿no? Y entonces él se vistió y fue al apartamento de Carlos. Y cuando entró, Carlos tenía un piano muy bonito, un piano de cola, precioso. Él tocaba de oído, ¿no? Entonces cuando él entró al apartamento, él vio el piano, el teclado de piano, lleno de palos de fósforo. Y el día que me quiera, cuando repetía una nota, una sola nota, él puso en la nota un palo de fósforo. Como él no escribía música, no sabía música, y a él le gustó tanto la melodía, que es una melodía bellísima, y él no quería que se le pueda olvidarse la melodía. Entonces, si dos notas, si una nota se repetía 3 veces, un sílabo 2 veces o 3 veces, pues él puso los palitos de fósforo para corresponder con la melodía, ¿no? Para que no se le pueda olvidar la melodía. Es una cosa, pero tremenda lo que hizo el hombre ese con la música esa.
Qué interesante, Pete. Hablando con usted, viene a mi memoria una anécdota que usted me contó en otra oportunidad. De Carlos llega una mañana a un ensayo temprano y él estaba un poco cansado y entonces los músicos...
Yo recuerdo muy bien. Sí.
¿Cómo fue eso, Pete?
Bueno, yo no sé si yo debo decirle eso porque
Es una cosa muy simpática.
yo era
Pete.
muchacho, era jovencito, entonces Carlos era un ídolo. No para mí, pero al mundo entero, ¿no? Pero naturalmente Carlos, él pasaba muchas noches agradables, ¿no? Él tenía muchas novias bonitas. Y un día él vino al estudio, ¿no? Cansado y como él era humano, el mejor cantante de tango que dio el mundo, pero era humano y como humano pues llega el instante que uno está en error, ¿no? Y entonces pues él se equivocó, no una frase, no sé si una nota, no fue una cosa que no tenía tanta importancia, ¿no? Pero Tucci le llamó la atención a él. Y entonces él le dijo a Tucci, que no soy yo, vos, mírate las narices. Eso significaba que casi todos los violinistas eran judíos, menos 2 o 3, ¿no? Y él le dice, pero que yo voy bien, ¿cómo voy a poder cantar yo con las narices esas? Es una cosa jocosa, ¿verdad?
Dígame una cosa, Pete. Vuelvo a insistirle sobre esto porque tengo mucha curiosidad. ¿Cuál era el total de número, el total de músicos en la orquesta de Carlos Gardel?
Los que componían la orquesta.
Sí.
Bueno, le voy a decir, Carlos Gardel tuvo un escogido de los mejores músicos, vamos a decir, del mundo. Él tenía músicos de la Radio City, es el teatro ese que no existe ahora, es un teatro famoso, grande, que creo que la orquesta la dirigía Erno Rapé. Tenía un violín del lugar ese, Después tenía músico de la CBS y de la NBC, que eso significa lo mejor del mundo, la crema del mundo. Él tenía uno de los mejores, bueno, French horn players del mundo, un mexicano que tocaba trompa con él. Él tenía de violines, llegó a tener, si no me equivoco, tuvo a Remo Bolognini de concertino. Yo me sentaba al lado de Remo, tuvo a Mishakov, tuvo a Garaguzzi, tuvo a como un señor americano judío él que tocaba con Toscanini, pero tuvo una cuerda formidable. Los mejores artistas lo tuvo Carlos. Por eso que los recorden que hizo él, que se oyen tan afinaditos, tan bonitos, ¿no? En las películas está muy bien hecha.
Y usted, por supuesto, fue partícipe de esa...
Sí,
de
como
esa
no, yo toqué gracias que él, cuando él me dijo llorar, lobo, le caí yo en gracia, ¿no? Y me colé ahí, ¿no?
Pero por méritos propios, Pete.
Bueno,
Digamos,
yo le caí bien a Carlos.
digamos una cosa, Pete. ¿Usted lo acompañó a él en alguno de los discos que hizo?
No, los discos yo estoy seguro que yo no toqué los discos porque yo estaba viajando. Pero las películas, todas las películas las hice yo con Carlos, todas las películas. Y los recording, cuando uno ve la película, pues que oye la música, esos son los recording, me parece a mí lo verídico, lo que él hizo. Después, cuando terminaron las películas, creo que él hizo, no estoy seguro que hizo varios recordings, usó un escogido con el mismo maestro Terry Tucci dirigiendo la orquesta.
¿Usted cree que Carlos Gardel hubiera tenido éxito en el público americano?
Oh, indiscutiblemente. Sí, cuando Carlos, el pobre que tuvo el accidente, ya él tenía un maestro de inglés. Él estaba estudiando el inglés porque querían los productores en Hollywood que él hiciera la vida de Rodolfo Valentino, el famoso artista italiano. Y empezó a tomar clases de inglés. Ya Carlos tenía como unos 48, 49 años, creo. Pero indiscutiblemente él hubiera sido un ídolo para el público americano.
Bueno, ¿recuerda alguna otra anécdota, Pete?
Bueno, yo recuerdo una cosa que jocosa, graciosa. Nosotros tocamos lo que le llaman una sesión, que son 3 horas. Las 3 horas lo pagaban el salario de $30. Y había muchos sinvergüenza en la orquesta, ¿no? Cuando venía Carlos y decía, me siento malo, tengo la garganta mala. Y habían varios muchachos ahí, americanos, judíos, y uno le decía al otro, ojalá que Carlos venga fatal, para ganar los 60, no 30 pesos.
O sea, ¿a ustedes le pagaban cuánto por la sesión?
$30 por la sesión, que era 3 horas. Teníamos que estar allí un cuarto para las 9, ¿no? Y a las 9 empezamos a grabar. Eran 3 horas lo que grabábamos.
¿Cuánto ensayaba Gardel antes de hacer una...?
Por eso que se demoraba tanto, porque él era un perfeccionista y él quería todo perfecto, no solamente Carlos, pero Terry Tucci, un gran director, un gran arreglista, y ya usted ve, cuando usted ve una película de Carlos Gardel, la música es perfecta, los arreglos, todo, la orquesta muy afinada, una afinación perfecta y un calibre de músico alto, bueno.
Pete, usted antes de comenzar esta grabación me contó una anécdota considero muy graciosa. Quiero que usted se anime a contármela respecto a una millonaria.
Vamos a ver.
¿Cómo fue eso?
Bueno, le voy a contar una cosa que creo que es verídico, ¿no? Carlos tuvo una novia no era muy bonita, pero tenía mucho dinero, ¿no? La viuda creo que el Maxwell House Coffee, en París lo conoció a él. Y dicen que ella lo protegió mucho a él, que lo ayudó mucho. Entonces, ¿qué sucede? Lo siguiente, que ella le dio de regalo a Carlos Gardel. Vamos a ver, déjeme ver cómo puedo disfrazar esto aquí para no ofender a nadie. Le hizo a Carlos Gardel el miembro de un hombre en oro,
el miembro de él mismo, Carlos Galel. Y entonces Carlos lo tenía en el bolsillo, ¿no? Pero una cosa perfecta, ¿no? Tan bien hecha que se equivocaba uno, solo que era de oro. Y un día por la mañana, nosotros ya estábamos allí, teníamos que estar un cuarto para las 9, ¿no? Viene Carlos riéndose con los dientes esos blancos que tenía, la sonrisa de sinvergüenza, ¿no? Y viene, como yo era el más bajito de la orquesta y el más joven, ¿no? Porque yo creo que casi todos los músicos que tocaron con él, todos, bueno, Remo Bolognini vive, ¿verdad? Remo yo creo que es el único que está vivo, los violines casi todos están muertos, ¿no?
No, tú estás vivo.
Bueno, yo, Remo y yo. Aquí está el simpático Miguel. ¿Quiere una palabra aquí, Miguel?
No, nada, digo, lo único que tengo que aprender.
Está bien, está
Lo
hablando.
único que puedo decir es que me siento complacido de tener aquí en mi restaurante La Fuente a tan distinguido personaje, Pibe, que perteneció a la orquesta del famosísimo Carlos Gardel, que Dios lo tenga en la gloria. Eso es todo.
Gracias, Miguel.
Gracias, Miguel.
Continúa con la anécdota, entonces.
Bueno, para terminar el chiste o lo que sea, resulta que por la mañana viene Carlos y me dice, vos, agárrate lo que tengo en la mano. Y yo no tenía noción, no sabía lo que era, ¿no? Y después que me puso lo que tenía en la mano, se echó a reír y me dice, mírate vos lo que tiene en la mano.
Bueno, gracias, Pete. Ha sido un verdadero placer.
Un
hablar con
placer.
usted.
Siempre lo encontramos en el restaurante ese tan bonito de La Fuente, de Miguel.
Gracias, Pete, y buenas noches.
Buenas noches, gracias.
I'm going home today, way down Virginia way. You know my dad's a farmer, so his mama, they live in a shack. If you think I'm dreaming because I'm leaving, try and hold me back. I'm gonna make hay while the sun shines in Virginia. The old folks need a lot of sunshine now. I'm gonna be a farmer in Virginia. I'll plant a kiss on Mother's wrinkled brow. Oh, I love her. I'm gonna raise a mortgage from the homestead. I'll weed out all their sorrows and their tears. I'm gonna make hay while the sun shines in Virginia.